Hello, and welcome to Killer Kitsch Lizzie. This is my little world where I like to sew and knit and go on some crazy creative journeys. I'm Lizzie. Nice to meet you. Oh, I should also introduce you to Bunty. Bunty is my, well, as you can tell, tailor form. The name Bunty is inspired by Bunty Windermere from Father Brown, one of my favorite channels. I am madly in love with the fashion. Not just Bunty, but you know, all the characters. Yeah. If you want to go on a beautiful fashion journey from the 1950s, watch that show. So, I'm finally here. This is video number 1. Hallelujah. Here I am. It's taken me a while to get here. Yeah, I've got to tell you, I'm new at this, so there's going to be notes. There's going to be coffee in my cute little bat mug. I love bats. Bats are my favorite. Maybe occasionally there'll be an actual alcoholic drink. Who knows? I might need it. And I also have notes on my phone because, you know, technology, right? And it's a portable device that I can carry with me everywhere, and if something pops into my brain, I don't know my computer, I just, boom, it's on my phone. So there's that. I want to be a little upfront about something from the beginning. You're going to see me looking down every once in a while at my notes, by the way, because I haven't memorized things. I don't know if I'm going to be memorizing things because I'm in my 50s, and the brain, especially the menopause brain, good luck. But yeah, I just wanted to be upfront about something right now. I know a lot of people come to YouTube for true vintage stuff and true vintage reproduction. I'm definitely not true vintage. As much as I love true vintage and I love the way it looks on women and the hair and the makeup, it's not my thing. I love vintage reproduction. I love styling vintage reproduction into other eras and other styles. Like my actual style is a mix of goth, punk, and vintage reproduction. You know, I was goth from my teens to a good chunk of my 20s. Then that sort of moved into more of a punk look, and then with, you know, the goth is always going to be there. Always. And then vintage reproduction has always been part of, or I had vintage pieces in the past when I was much thinner. And that's the other reason I don't do true vintage. Nothing fits me. I'm a curvy girl. I'm 5'8", and I got boobs, and I got a belly, menopause belly, and I got a butt. And to be true to myself, like shopping in a clothing store of any kind, whether it's like a vintage store or a modern retail, I get really depressed, and that is why my entire existence, starting at 10 years old, I learned how to sew. The reason I learned how to sew was so I could make my own clothing, so it would actually fit my body and be flattering and not make me upset. So you're not going to see true vintage here. The only true vintage things I think I have in my closet now are purses. I love purses. I collect purses. If you want to see my purses, let me know and I'll show you what I have. I have a lot of vintage jewelry, vintage accessories. I have a lot of vintage accessories, let's put it that way. Those are things that make me happy. Vintage clothing, not so much. So, I also want to apologize for the lighting. I know I probably shouldn't apologize for that. It's June 14th in Toronto, and it's been raining a lot, and it's not that hot. Usually by now it's much warmer here. We had a heat wave last week, along with wildfires happening all around us, and it was not fun last week. I was gonna video last week, starting last week, and no. So the lighting's gonna be a little weird today. I have a ring light, but I find it's a little too harsh. So I am figuring out lighting. Anyways, I'm sorry, I should stop apologizing. I'm Canadian, I apologize for everything, right? Anyway, so I just wanted to be upfront about that because if you're coming here for true vintage, I'm not your gal. What I'm going to be doing is talking about, in vlogs, you know, things I'm working on, things I want to work on, looking at fabric, looking at the things I made. By the way, this is a Butterick, I always say this wrong, Butterick, the B6453. I think I got that right, with the princess seams. This dress, I've made so many of these dresses. I don't even know how many, I've lost count. This dress gave me so many problems for some reason. First of all, don't sew when you're in a bad mood. That was my #1 mistake. Because for some reason, I used the wrong seam allowance. And this dress ended up being way too small. And then I looked at the seam allowance that I was using and I was like, why did I do this? Why did I use the biggest seam allowance on my machine? I don't know. My brain just, because I was in such a bad mood. Also that day was set aside to sew and all these other things kept happening that day and I just was like, screw it, I'm sewing this dress. Don't do that. Do it when you're in a good mood. Do it when you have time. Even the zipper gave me a hard time. I might have to replace the zipper. It might split. I'm not sure. It got stuck a few times when I was sewing it for some reason. Again, I've done a million invisible zippers. Anyway, enough whining. Yeah, so the thing, I want to talk about the things I'm working on currently. And I've got a lot of stuff that's on the go right now. I'm looking at the pile over here. I tend to have a lot of things in different stages of being made. I also cannot, I cannot knit one thing at a time. I have tried so many times to knit one thing at a time. I can't do it. I will knit like part of something, and if it's like a straight knit, like stockinette, where there's no lace, there's no increases, decreases, changes happening, I get bored really fast. And then I will cast on another thing. And then I was trying really hard not to do that. And then I'll see, this is my other problem, I will see something that someone else has made. That's a problem. So anyway, let's talk about what I'm working on. I'm going to talk about knitting first. So the thing I am knitting, the first thing I'm knitting is a sweater for my husband, which was supposed to be done for his birthday, which was in February, and just a lot of personal stuff happened with our family, and I never got very far with it. Oh, I just want to show you my bag. I have a Cricut, by the way, and I do use it when I'm making things. If you want to see or hear me talk about how I'm using my Cricut, please let me know. I'm more than happy to talk about it. Anyways, I made myself a knitting bag. This says Kitsch Witch. Anyways, I am working on a sweater for my husband. It's going to be a crew neck sweater. Based on sort of like the 1940s style, which I mean really hasn't changed that much. I mean, if you looked at a modern crew neck pattern, it's probably going to be very similar. And the thing with that is it's literally do 3 inches of ribbing, and then the body is like no increases or decreases until you get to the armholes and armholes, sorry. And then the front is the same basically, with the difference being the way the neckline is done, and then the sleeves. The sleeves have increases, so and decreases. So, but yes, and then I did start it, and I got the back tie. I was like, this is really boring. Once I get to the front, it won't be. So right now the back is done. I'm working on the sleeves. And I took a break in between, and I'll show you what I started. and the other thing I'm gonna start. Anyways, hopefully you can see this. So I'm doing, I like to do fun sort of game or kitschy, vintage kitschy style things for my husband. I've done a Superman sweater, I've done a Space Invaders vest, I've done a cardigan with aliens on it. You know, I do that kind of thing for my husband. That's what he likes. Anyways, hopefully this will focus. Anyways, I'm doing Pac-Man. I'm creating a chart. I have to do some tweaks to it, but this is the, what the front, like even with this stuff up here, this is how the front's gonna look. So the chart's almost done. I do create my own charts from scratch. I don't copy somebody else's. Can I have a bit of coffee? And he's also very tall. That's the other thing, is it takes me a while to knit his sweaters. He's tall, he's got really long arms, he's got a long torso. It takes a little bit longer to knit for him than it does for me. But in between, because I don't have enough sweaters of my own, oh my god, literally my closet is bursting with my sweaters. I recently had to, I didn't have to, but I recently went through my closet and I pulled out anything that I've knit that I don't wear anymore, or that I wore once, or it just looked weird on me, didn't fit properly, and I actually gave them away. So anyways, this is I don't have this color of green. Oh, it's actually showing up properly in the camera. I don't have this color of green cardigan, and this is the Anouk, which is an Andy Sutherland pattern, which sadly her store is gone. She's no longer creating patterns. I get it. I understand. I had an Etsy store for a long time and I shut it down in, I think, January. Combination of the crazy fees over there, having to deal with a couple of really horrible customers who were, I'm not going to get into that story. Anyway, and then people complaining about my prices. I mean, it takes a long time to knit a garment. Anyways, whatever. That's a whole other, could be a whole other video. Yeah, so I just have the sleeves and the button band to do. So I took a break from my husband's sweater and I knit this. This knit up really fast, by the way. The body was done in, now, let me preface this. I am a very fast knitter. Again, I've been knitting and sewing since I was 10, so I can do it in my sleep at this point. Anyway, so the body was done in a week. It is worsted yarn and size 6mm needles. I'm not 100% sure. I don't have them here. So anyway, so that I'm gonna, once I get the sleeves done for my husband's sweater, I'm gonna actually finish this. And then, and I don't have the pattern with me, because I forgot to print off, but what I'll do is I will pop up an image, if I can. We'll see. We'll see. And it's another cardigan. It's a 1950s cropped cardigan with this beautiful diamond cabling panels down the front. And a friend sent me her pattern. I saw her finish it on, she has a picture of it on Instagram, and yeah, so she sent me the pattern. So once I get all this other stuff done, I'm lying. I'm going to be casting on. I'm lying. I'm lying to you and I'm lying to myself. I will cast on. This is called, this is actually, it's really hard to find DK yarn in Toronto. I don't know why. Especially acrylic. I don't work with wool because I'm actually allergic. It is really hard. And anyways, the only DK I can really find is in baby yarn in Toronto. I have ordered online a few times, but what I got was either not the color on the website, or I just didn't like the yarn. So I need to touch and feel. Fabric and yarn, I need to touch and feel. A lot of people are like that. Anyway, this is navy, and it is Bernat Softy Baby. And it is actually very soft. which I like. I like when yarns are left. Anyways, so I will find a photo. If I can find a photo, I'll pop it up somewhere. Because I don't have a link to it, so I can't link a pattern down there. Oh, and the other thing, going back to Cricut, so my husband and I run a bee movie night the first Friday of every month in Toronto, and I designed our t-shirts from the logo that he designed. Hope you can see that. Yep. Anyway, I designed these. I used the Cricut to make the decal, the vinyl t-shirt transfer decal. I found, because I've been looking for this for a while, because I thought I would do a special edition t-shirt with glow-in-the-dark heat transfer vinyl, and I found it. It's from Sizer, and I'm not going to do a whole lot of them. I'm just probably going to do like a couple in each size, but this made me very happy yesterday. I found it yesterday. I actually found it and this yarn yesterday at Michael's. So, oh, if the camera vibrates, I'm sorry. I'm trying not to touch the table. I'm in my bedroom. I know I said I wasn't going to apologize anymore, but I'm in my bedroom. This is the only place in our apartment that actually has decent light. Even though it is kind of dark right now, but our apartment's pretty dark. It's a very old building. Not very well insulated either, so you may, you know, when I'm doing videos, you might hear noises, because we can hear each other in this building. I can hear the other apartment, people in the other apartments. They can hear us. I'm also beside the window. It's open because it gets hot back here, so you can hear outside noises, which I actually like when I hear in videos. I like hearing the birds. And then I have a crafty thing to show you, but I'm going to actually leave that last, because... Anyway, so I am working on a bunch of things right now. I don't have them all here because it's going to take forever, but there's a couple things that is in my whips pile for sewing. And one of them I have to go back to like square one. I was making the 1940s keyhole blouse. Bex from Subversive Femme. Hi Bex. The pattern's on her Etsy and her website. I had to, like, you know, grade up because I'm not, I think the pattern I had though was a 38. I'm around a 42 bust. I still had to grade up. And yeah, it's just wonky the way I don't know what I did wrong. I'm really good at grading up patterns. I don't know what I did wrong with this particular pattern. I'm going to go back to scratch. I'm going to follow her blog post. There is a really amazing blog post for this. I'll link again. Anything I mention, I'm going to link below. And I'm actually going to go step by step with her blog post because I think I will get a better fit that way. And the other thing I don't have in front of me is I cut out a pair of Vargas panties, which is from Gertie's Patreon. Everything's cut out and ready to sew. I haven't been inspired to make them. I don't know why. I don't know why. Anyways, it'll happen. But back to my husband. I am making, I don't have the fabric, I'm just going to show you the pattern because I didn't want to pull everything out of all of the bags. I use Ziploc gallon bags to store my sewing projects in. Including, I have a folder with all the pieces in it, which goes into the gallon bag, and it stays in there. I don't reuse the same bag for projects. I just feel it keeps everything together because, you know, pieces fall out and disappear. Anyways, so this is a quick sew pattern. It is K3484. I'm doing this one. The outside color is going to be black, and this is going to be red. It's a very traditional 1950s bowling shirt look, and my husband really likes it. I've made, where's the other one? I've made this one for him as well, and I've made a plain one for him as well. This fits him really well, so. And the other, oh yeah, the other toile that I have sitting ready to go, which I have to sew up, is the Presley shirt for him. We did one toile, it was too small. Even though it said it was his size, I measured him very, very specifically. That shirt tends to be a slim fit, I think. So it was too tight on him, so I upgraded that. I went up a couple sizes, and hopefully this one will fit. I have cut out a toile for oh my god, I just totally forgot what it's called, the Elsa culottes. Oh my god, it was just in front of me. Because I'm going on a pants journey. Damn it, I need pants. It gets really cold here in Toronto. In Canada, period. But in Toronto, it gets really cold here in the wintertime. The wind chills are crazy. So I thought I would start with this because this looks like it's going to be very flattering. And I have seen curvy women wearing it. And it looks great on them. So everything's cut out. Again, I just need to sew up the toile. So I'm going to show you a few fabrics. So this is the fabric that's on, oops, Bunty right now. Hopefully that's in focus. I have a bit left over, and I have a lining fabric. I'm going to make a purse. You know the purses that you see in like Miss Marple using in more of the current Miss Marples. Maybe the second or probably the second and last rendition that is, I think they're on BritBox. I can't remember. They're like knitting bags more than purses. But I don't care. I love them. They're big. They look like they're from the 40s. Anyways, I love them. I have a bunch of these handles. And I want to use up, I have bits of fabric that are not enough for a garment, but they would be enough for like a bag. For the keyhole blouse, once I get the toile right. Hopefully that's focusing. It still needs to be hand washed. I generally don't buy hand washed fabric. I buy fabric that I can just put in the washing machine like on a cold cycle. This definitely has to be hand washed. It's beautiful. I might actually get more of this type of fabric for some dresses. Oh my god, it's like so nice against the skin, and I feel like it's gonna be nice and cool for the summer. And I have this fabric which I bought a while ago. I have a bunch of stuff in my stash. I'm trying to actually use stuff in my stash for both fabric and knitting. Hopefully I can do that, except I just bought yarn yesterday. Anyways, this really cute fabric. I bought this a while ago from Fabricland here in Toronto. Anyway, I was going to make like a scout dress with it, but I don't know if I want a scout dress. What I thought I would do instead is use, I don't know how well this is going to show up. It's a floral fabric, so I don't know if, anyways, I don't know if that's focusing or not. I have my face there. Anyways, there is a bodice up here, which I'm going to do. It has like a little flap here. I think the Jane set has a very similar flap from Gertie, from Charm Patterns, and yep, so I'm going to do that, and then I think I'll have enough left over. I might do a bolero. Where's the bolero? Bolero. Okay, I don't know if that's focusing or not. I apologize if it's not. Anyway, again, I have to figure out how to do that. I know how to use the camera for like taking photographs. I actually have a, I went to school and I for photography, that was another thing. After I finished graphic design, I went to school for photography, and I mean, I know how to use the camera for that. I just have to figure out the video part more. Anyway. And then the last thing I want to talk about is a crafty project. I'm part of Lisa from Bobo Bun, her Patreon. I'm going to leave a link below. You have to go sign up for her Patreon, as well as Tara Dayton. Sign up for her Patreon. And watch their YouTube videos, because both amazing, amazing women. I've learned a lot from both of them. Anyways, Lisa just launched her Patreon, and her very first project was the Anemones, I hope I'm saying that right, brooch. So that's the pink one on Bunty, and then I made a red one. Hopefully you can see that okay. And I have a lot of felt in my stash, but I actually went and bought a few more colors because I want to do, gonna do a couple as gifts, because I have a couple friends that I know will love these. So I'm gonna do a, I'm actually quite surprised that colors are showing up really well. Because when I use my phone, they don't show up. This is not a phone, this is my DSLR. Anyway, I'm gonna do a blue one. I don't know what I'm gonna put for the, I don't know what I'm gonna put for the ribbons yet, and this part's gonna be blue. Oh, and I have something in my eye. That's just great. And then I want to do like a yellow daisy with, this part will be black, and then the middle part will probably be white. I just love daisies. And then a purple one. It's a great color. It's a great purple. It's called, I don't know if it has a color. Baby Lilac. This felt's all from Michaels, by the way. I have brown, but that's going to be for some fall stuff. And then I want to do a black one. I want to do like a black flower with like yellow. Black and yellow. And I have little bat buttons, which I might, instead of putting the pom-pom in the middle, I might actually, the pom-pom here, I might actually do bats. Anyway, my battery looks like it's dying, so I'm gonna wrap up. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and please subscribe. And I'll see you again soon.